to take initiative the minute you leave from here, and even while you're here. It occurred to me that, well, some of you are just really getting on the on-ramp of feeling the momentum of success. And many of the others, certainly the people in these front rows and the reserve seats, are feeling the fruits of their success. And within that continuum, there's always this possibility of sort of getting sidetracked. The other night, leaving a dinner, a guy comes to me and was like, wow, I wanted to meet you. He called me Mr. Deichler, which was awkward. That's you, not me. It's my dad. But, so I'm just kiddo. He's like, oh, I wanted to meet you. You're such a success. And it's like, my God, if this guy could see the ghosts of failure surrounding me, he would understand why I can't really. There's nothing about him calling me a success which resonates. I've had success. I've experienced some success, but there was in junior high, I played varsity basketball. We went 0 for 17. And I played varsity baseball. We went 0 for 15. What a success! I started a business. I had some decent success in the infomercial business, then was sent over to Europe, to England to launch the first infomercial company over there, and absolutely hated the role. That was a very operational role, not very creative, and we got into back order on products, and telemarketing wasn't taking the calls the way they were supposed to, and while there were a couple of little germs of success in there, I just couldn't stand it. An absolute failure for me, and I moved back here. Started to run the media department for a company, for that same infomercial company, while that company was in a fast, just a rapid descent, and I couldn't turn around the media business fast enough to be able to overcome the drop in revenue. Terrible failure. I got recruited, or I started a business called Telemax International. I actually mentioned this story to the Success Starters on the call the other night, the first Success Starters call. Started Telemax International. Didn't have a real strong why, didn't really understand what I wanted to get out of it. Sort of felt entitled to success because of the 8 years that I already had in the infomercial business. Total failure. Then I went to NFL Films. Started a sort of a shopping business selling NFL branded merchandise in what they call syndicated programming, like NFL Films programming. Didn't get real good sales on TV, an absolute failure. That business got transferred to another infomercial company where I ended up getting reporting to the CEO and chairman of that business. Turned out that he was a total corrupt individual. He's now in prison. Terrible failure. Then I got involved with an entrepreneur who brought me in. That company was called Telemerica Media. That's where I did the, I've told this story before, the instant flower garden, a roll of hay, you water it, and flowers come up. I gave a roll to my dad. He put it in his backyard. He's like, is it supposed to be weeds? Terrible failure. 8-minute abs did pretty good for me. That was a 2.5 year business, but the partner that I had, we just didn't get along. We had different visions for the business, so I cut that short. At the end of the day, based on what I had invested in time and energy, it was a failure. But there were successes. In fact, in all these things that I'm describing, there were successes. But it was my mentality that was the ultimate success. Even in the 0-17 season and the 0-15 season. One day my dad would drive me back and forth. He would drive me back and forth to the games. And I think it was about we had lost 15 straight in basketball. And I was just like in the front seat, hanging my head, felt terrible. And he goes, "Are you kidding? You try harder than anybody on that floor every time you go out. I love watching you play. That's why I come to every single game." Huge success for me in that failure. You will fail every week a little bit. You might have had good success already with this business and found some failure within it. And then you're going to have to get it back. You might be sitting here going, God, I'm in leadership. I kind of feel like a fraud because I don't feel like I'm a leader right now. I haven't been leading. I got into management mode. And you're going to have to get it back. But you're going to have to, look at yourself through the same lens that I look at my career, that I look at, the fact that I haven't been able to get Body Beast to roll out. I haven't been very successful getting Turbo Kick, Turbo Fire to roll out nationally. Shalene Extreme, we couldn't get that show to roll out. Tai Cheng, we haven't been able to get that show roll out. Slim and Six has struggled for the last 3 years. Power 90 finally ran its course. Even P90X isn't really running on the air right now. P90X2 didn't really roll out as an infomercial. But on the other hand, P90X, most famous brand in fitness right now. Insanity, enormous success. #1 infomercial for the last 3 years. We sell a $120 bag of powder that actually feeds people really well and is now selling 170,000 units of that product a month after everybody said there's no way that you can sell a meal replacement shake for $4 a serving. We did it. We have over 130,000 coaches now helping people achieve their goals to lead healthy, fulfilling lives. Am I surrounded by failure? You're damn right I am. And am I more excited every day to achieve more failure because on top of that comes success, like being in a room full of you people? You damn right I am as well. That's what we do. That's what we do. We talk about Super Saturday, and every time we talk about Super Saturday or the Team Cup, like there's a little part of me that goes, or even the wake-up call. Like I look at the numbers of these things and I go, we get maybe 1,500 to 2,000, somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 people on these wake-up calls every Monday out of 133,000 coaches. And I go, why am I unsuccessful at getting 5,000 people on this call to get the week started right? Out of 100 and something thousand coaches last June, why could I only get 7,000 people when there's other network marketing companies that don't have nearly the heart as this one, have 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 people coming to their national convention? I don't understand all these numbers. All I know is we just keep trying. And every time we can get you to show up and we can put on these Super Saturdays, we're going to try again. Like Jeff said, we're going to try that bucket brigade. We're going to try to get more people into the heart of this business. Just see it as more than just another network marketing business, or see it more as a way to buy product at a discount, and see it as an imperative that they truly try to help people. Why is the number $900 so important? Because out of Coach Basics, you have the ability to help people who are absolutely suffering out there, who have no cash flow, who are going to go into more debt this holiday season. You have the ability to lead and get them that cash flow so they don't go into any deeper debt, perhaps pay off some debt, and pay cash for their holiday gifts this year. But you have to be the ones that look through all the failure, all the rejection, all the turn downs. I'm not going to Super Saturday. Oh yeah, I'll be there. But they don't show up. You got to invite them again. You got to find a way to reach these people. That's what we do at corporate. We try to get people on a national call. We try to get them to Super Saturday. We try to get them to Summit. And we're going to keep on trying, and we're going to get more and more successful at it. And every day, look at this trend of obesity. It's ridiculous. Here we are taking on a trend of obesity that has 2/3 of the population overweight or obese. Unbelievable that we would try to take that on. And you know what? We succeed a little bit every single day because of you. Because you refuse to quit. Because you take things like Coach Basics. Because you take things like the 3 vital behaviors. And you just keep going with it. Regardless of whether when you wake up Monday and then between Monday morning and going to sleep Sunday night, you might have an 0 for 17 season of rejections that week. But maybe you're going to be lucky and you're going to be in a car beside your dad and he's going to say, you kept trying. And who knows what skills you picked up during that week? Who knows how you fed your heart? Who knows just who you might have touched by talking to them? By sharing with them the fact that there's a program called X3 coming out, the fact that there's this shake that can help them daily, they can just take their daily dose of dense nutrition and they can improve their health and help their body heal itself. You don't know who you're touching. Now, it's one thing for you to know that. It's a whole other thing now for you to go home or you to get on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and phone calls and just coffee clatches, wherever you can meet up with your team and get them to feel the same sense of it's okay to fail. And within that failure, you're going to find the next success. If your intent is to help people achieve their goals, to lead healthy, fulfilling lives, you will be unstoppable. If every morning you wake up with that, and you know, we had the big dream at Summit. I wonder how many of you have already let that big dream go, or you thought that was just sort of an exercise to put on an index card, and how many people operate like I do and stoke that fire every single day so that it's hard to sleep. I implore, just for your own life, there's nothing worse than being sort of in this self-imposed prison of inertia, of a lack of activity. You need to be the person taking the initiative in your own life. And then, real freedom, the freedom to be able to create a life. You know, there's this store that you walk by. I walk by at the airport. It says, "Life is good." And one day, it was right after the anniversary of September 11th. I was walking by that. I was like, wow, life is good. It's an interesting brand name. And I thought, I bet you on September 11th, that was a difficult brand for people to connect with. Because there was not a lot of people, certainly anybody touched by that tragedy, thinking life is good. Life is hard. And I saw one time a guy on Twitter said, you know, he put up a quote, life is hard, and he put, compared to what? Which I thought was kind of interesting because, you know, life is hard, yeah, compared to what? It's just life. Life just is. Life is what you make of it. And I think sometimes we, people, can have an expectation that life is supposed to be good. We are born here. We don't know what the parents are going to be like. We don't know what sort of circumstances we're going to have. We don't know what sort of addictions we might fall into, or traps we might fall into, or spouses, or circumstances, or jobs, or whatever. Life just is, man. There's no guarantee, and there is no requirement that life be good. And don't let anybody make you feel bad if for some reason you go, you know what, right now life is not so good. It is not a requirement that you think life is good. But I think that what's possible is to create good. Freedom is having the tools and the hope to create more out of your circumstance, to take the initiative to create something, regardless of how bad it is or the setbacks. You just don't quit on yourself. That's what I want for everybody out of this business. Help people achieve their goals to lead healthy, fulfilling lives. I just want people to not quit on themselves. To use these tools. We try to refine these tools so that people will really get the results that they want out of their fitness program, out of their weight loss, and hopefully to create an income for themselves so, like Becky, they can be there for their kids to drop them off at school or pick them up after school. Whatever her fulfilling life is, we want to give her the tool to do that. We want you to take these tools, deliver them, teach them to your teams so that you're helping people lead healthy, fulfilling lives. So then maybe, instead of them feeling trapped by a life that's not so good, they feel like they can create the life that they would love to live. So that they have the tools to solve the problems. They have hope so that they can get over when things are tough. They have the ability to cope with failure and turn it positive for themselves rather than feeling like they have a dark cloud over their heads. That's the power that we have at Team Beachbody. That's what feels so good about this. I've said it before, I think it's the most fantastic company in the world, and it's not because John and I are so special. It's just we've managed to attract people like you and people like you saw up here on the stage. People come visit the office and they go, I can't believe the energy that I feel in this place. And I feel the same way every time I go to work. I feel the same way every time I come to one of these events. I feel like I'm getting together with family and friends. It really is true. How long till the party? So